Hello and welcome to Camper. In this video I'm going to show you how to do a maintenance on our Hygiene Flushbox Pro. To do the maintenance we require a smart device. The first step is that we are going to open the Hygiene Flushbox by pressing on the magnetic press button and take a screwdriver, release the hatch and take the panel from the Hygiene Flushbox. As second, we need to open the cover of the siphon. We take the cover from the side, lift it up and take it out to the front. In our Hygiene Flushbox we see now we have 3 green lights, one green status LED and one LED for valve number 1 and valve number 2. That means our Hygiene Flushbox is in standby. It is possible that the standby is blinking. That would mean our wireless is active. The V1 and V2 LED can also be blue. That would mean a flush is active. If it is red, we have an error. If it is yellow, maintenance is required. When we have opened the Hygiene Flushbox Pro, we check if there are any leakages on the flushing valves on the left and on the right. If this is not the case, then we can activate our wireless. Therefore, I press the button for 5 seconds until we hear an acknowledgement sound. Now we can connect our computer to our Hygiene Flushbox. In this video we use a laptop to connect to the Hygiene Flushbox Pro. Therefore we open the wireless settings and choose the Camper KHS Pro with the serial number 008812. The serial number is shown on a sticker inside the Hygiene Flushbox. We press connect. When the KHS Pro is connected, I can open my browser and I'm directed to the starting page of the KHS Flushbox Pro. I have to log in with the password, which is in our case 4 times the 0, which is the default setting from delivery. If the password has been changed, you need to ask the customer to get the password. Press confirm. And we are in the overview of the Camper Hygiene Flushbox Pro. We see that there are the temperatures shown on the valve number 1 and valve number 2, and there is no flow currently. Now we have to go to Settings, Assistance, to start the maintenance assistant. Start Wizard. Here we have listed the to-dos and the single steps for the maintenance. The first thing to do is to close the maintenance cutoffs. The second part is to remove the black cover from the siphon, which we already did in a previous step. Now we dismantle the aerator and the flow limiter. Then take the aerator out of the flow limiter component and perform a visual check. If the mesh is clean, we need to check the gasket. If this is clean, we can reassemble. If it's dirty, then please clean it under fresh water. Second thing to check is the flow limiter itself. We take it out of the housing, check the flow limiter and clean it if required also under fresh water. After that we reassemble everything and put it back into our flush point. The next thing to check is the solenoid valve. We open the solenoid valve, take off the union nut, take off the plug, remove it from the housing, and check if the solenoid valve is clean. There's also a mesh inside. If you see any debris, please clean the solenoid valve. After that, we can reassemble the solenoid valve into position. Connect the plug of the solenoid valve back to the controller, and then the next step follows. We can open the servicing valves and check for any leakage. After we have inspected the first flush point, we do the same steps for the second flush point. When we have checked the second solenoid valve and a flush group as well, we can continue the maintenance. Now we're checking the peripherals, which is the controlled, the connected components. Now we are checking if all components are connected correctly, which is the point checking the peripherals. All 3 LEDs on the controller should be flashing white. If that is the case, we can press continue. Now the next step is that we should hear an alarm sound. If we can hear the alarm sound, we press continue. The next step is to check the float switch of the overflow. Therefore, we remove the blade inside the Hygiene flush box and lift the float switch shortly, and then we let it go again. We place the blade back into position and press continue. Yeah, we placed the inner plate into the trap already, and now we are going to perform a test flush. During the second test flush, we look at the spray pattern of the flush. If the spray pattern looks okay, we can confirm by pressing continue. In this window, we now see the results of the test flush, which is approximately 10 liters. As also installed, as you can see below, we have a flow limiter of 10 liters per minute. That's okay, and we can continue. Now we are going to the selection of the medium. The Hygiene flush box has detected cold water for valve number 1 and cold water for valve number 2. This has been done due to the temperature sensors in the flush points. This is correct, and we can press continue. We have now finished the maintenance of the Hygiene flush box and can download the record of the maintenance. We save it somewhere. When we open it, we have the following information. We have the device information of our Hygiene flush box, the date, the device name, the serial number, the MAC address or the wireless address. Then we have the list of actuators and sensors that are connected to valve number 1 and valve number 2. We have the results of the system check. We can see the pre-installed or the schedule or the flushes that have been programmed. And then we have the maintenance tasks that we can fill out when we have printed this report. So please print out this report, fill in the maintenance tasks, and sign it, and then you can keep this record for your and the customer's documentation. We end the maintenance assistant. Now we get back to the overview. When we're back in the overview, the status LED is again in green. It's blinking green. That means the wireless is still active, and as soon as we log out, confirm the logout, the wireless is deactivated again. So all 3 LEDs on your Hygiene Flushbox Pro should now be green. Now we have performed all steps of the maintenance, and the last step we have to do is to close our Hygiene Flushbox again. So we take the cover of our siphon, place it back into position, take care that all wires and cables are on the cap of on the cover of the siphon. Take the metal cover, place the notches into the holes. And use a screwdriver to press down the latch here and press the cover back into position again. That's all we need to do to perform the maintenance for Hygiene Flushbox Pro.